So I've got this coming through. Now you can pound the ends of these to prevent them from coming out, but at the very end of each one of these, I'm gonna put stakes here, there, one there, one there. That'll prevent the top ones from sliding out, and if the top ones slide out, these are a lot longer. You can see how I can still pound that one down and prevent it from sliding through like I did here. But this, I don't need your help right now, is just a little nail, wooden stake, nail, whatever you want to call it, that I'm going to pound in there with my hammer stick, and that'll prevent the ends from sliding out. So if the ends don't slide out, the center ones won't slide out, and that'll make it a lot more secure when I'm moving around. This time I use my little modified multi-tool to make this smaller one. I've got a saw blade, a file, a knife, another type of knife in there. I took out the ones I don't normally use. I put all the ones that I typically would use on one side, and then I put the smaller auger in my multi-tool. So now I'm gonna hammer, so I'm gonna take my hammer stick and hammer that in here in just a second. I guess I can go ahead and do it now. Anyway, you got the idea. I'm gonna stake it in a little bit better than it is right now. It's hard to do one-handed. That one didn't want to stake all the way in. That one went in flush. These are in flush, so that'll prevent these top ones from sliding out and keep this whole ladder-like structure together. So what I thought I would do is make it more modular if I need to, because this one's not real straight. So this is just what I had in my backyard. So I'm gonna find something straighter for the next one I build. These could be built in modular lean-tos. Like that could be used as a gurney. This could be something easily taken apart and carried with you, so that you could fit it through like dense bush or jungle, wrap it all up into one bundle. So you have the frame, the shingles, depending on where you're at. You can just throw brush on the outside, or you could shingle it, depending on how much time you have and how much weight you want to carry. So if you had a location where you knew you were gonna have access to something you could use as shingles, like palm fronds or grasses that you could wrap around these pegs, then you don't have to take that with you. This makes it portable. You don't have to worry about it falling apart. You could use it as a gurney to carry somebody, and as you can see, I'm not using perfectly straight sticks, and you can bond them together. You use them as platforms to get you up off the ground, what have you. I mean, there's a bunch of different applications to this, but my idea is portable primitive shelter that can be taken apart, carried with you, and saves you time and work if you have to move. And it doesn't have to be large, just something to get you out of the rain. This is about the size of a paddle board, actually a little bit wider than a paddle board, but about as long, and I've used those before as lean-tos. So with the auger, what I'm doing now is shingling. So I left these two because I had put this one on top, but you can see that this piece and this piece are split, and then I had to put another one down the center because you're gonna get this crack right here. You can do the same thing with bamboo. Bamboo actually works better because it cups, because it's gonna have a hollow piece on the inside, and you can take those portions out of bamboo and they'll cup each other. Like you can carve them out in the center and they'll cup each other. But this gives you a rough idea of how this modular portable setup can work. So just starting the shingling there, but you can see I've created two frames. They could be used for pretty much anything that you want. You've got to be careful of weight. So you notice here I used a larger auger and then I used a smaller one here. The advantage of the smaller one, obviously, it goes through the wood faster. You can use smaller limbs to make your frame for your shelter, but they're not going to support much weight A larger auger is going to allow you to use larger limbs, which will support more weight, so you can use the structure for more things like carrying items, carrying people, tables, ladders, whatever. But eventually you get to a point where your auger is too big for a practical limb to be cut in the wild, depending on the tools that you have. Obviously, if you have an axe, you can use larger limbs, but that's going to increase your weight. It's not going to be portable. The whole idea behind this structure is that it's portable. So I don't want to go much larger than the size of the limb that I have. So 2.5, 3 inches in diameter is what I'm shooting for. And so that's going to limit the auger size that I want. My preference is to use the smaller one, because I don't need the larger auger, because I don't really need these to support weight. I just want them to frame structures, to be portable, lightweight. And you can see I built 2 of them that I can overlap. If I was gonna travel, I would only carry one, the supplies for one. I would break it back down. And once you get these pins in, you can take a smaller limb and use it like a punch to knock these back out, so that you can piece it back together or carry it whole. It depends on the location that you're at. If it's a wide open area, you can carry it together, put things on them if you have 2 people, or use it like a gurney and stand at one end and pull the thing. But if you've got 2, y'all can both carry, switch out, take turns. That gets pretty tiresome. But if you're just one person, you can break it down, bundle it together with some cordage, and carry it out. And yes, you could do all this stuff with cordage. Cordage takes time. I'm just showing how an auger can be used to make a portable primitive shelter. And it gives you the ability to kind of pin all this together and make it a little bit more secure. But I'm gonna stop right here, and if I get time this weekend, I'll go out and actually build an encampment. So one other thing I wanted to show you was I built a small chair. I did this really quick. So I just took the auger, drilled out some holes on the bottom, put some limbs that would support my weight, made it like a little tripod. So obviously I'd want the flatter part on the top, and I could take my hatchet and flatten that out if I wanted to. I really probably should have used the wider part and flipped it over, but I had already started. I was just trying to do it quick, but I built that pretty fast. Now, if I was gonna change things, I would have changed the angle of the auger to have these legs come out more at an angle, but you gotta be careful at how far they go out. Otherwise, you'll end up putting too much weight and breaking off at the thinner portion up here. But there's my little tripod chair. I just, you know, you can build tables the same way, and if you have the ability to plank things out, you can plank them out and build better structures, better shingles. Right now I'm using really small pieces of equipment to make small shingles, small scale stuff, because I have a hatchet, I have a saw, and I have an auger. That's what I'm using. So I'm trying to combine all these into one tool eventually.